As this tropical wave gets closer to the Caribbean early next week, it now has a higher likelihood of becoming a tropical storm. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back at Meteo Mundo. Great to see you on a Thursday. Hope things are doing well. A lot to discuss in this video. We'll talk about some of the showers and storms in your area as we speak. We'll look at the island by island rainfall forecast and of course get into this disturbance and how it could begin to impact our area early in the week ahead. Love to hear from you guys. Love our Meteo Mundo weather community. Let me know in the comments section below where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like. We'll jump right into it here. So big changes compared to yesterday. First thing you'll notice is that the area is now in orange from the National Hurricane Center for this tropical wave in the central Atlantic. We've gone from a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days up to a 40% chance. So we've jumped it up a little bit as well. And when I show you the models, you're going to see some big differences in those. And to be quite honest, it's not all very good news. Now, as far as what's going on with this wave on this Thursday, right now we'll just draw a line located somewhere around, about 1,350 miles away from Barbados. That's over 2,000 kilometers still. So we still have some time to monitor this. But again, over the next few days in this orange area, that's where we could start to see this begin to ramp up a little bit. Now, looking at it on satellite imagery, a few things of note. There is actually some drier air still on the northern side, and this is still a very disorganized area of showers and storms. But I have noted some deeper convection and some thunderstorm activity trying to develop a little bit closer to that center of circulation at the hour. So the first, if you will, better thunderstorm activity near the center here, at least trying to develop. No lightning strikes as of yet. Here you can see that zero lightning count, but just a little bit more improved moisture near that center of circulation. This is going to be your enhanced satellite imagery with the visible satellite imagery and combined. And again, still a little bit in the way of some drier air to the north. You can see clouds are actually moving in two different directions out towards the west. So there hasn't been a lot of concentration of anything as of yet. So still a broad area, but give it 48 hours. And as it gets into this area in orange, that's when we're expecting it to be a better chance. I also want you to note that this orange area has been expanded farther off towards the south. Okay. And we're going to talk about the potential different track compared to what we discussed yesterday as well. So looking at things overall, that's the tropical wave on the surface map that has the high chance to develop it. We also have a tropical wave right now in the eastern Caribbean moving into the central Caribbean that's bringing some pretty healthy showers and storms at the hour. So that's the first thing we're going to get into. Then we're going to deep dive into this wave. So let's talk about the storms that have been popping up across our area right now. We've had some very widespread storms in the far northwest side of the Caribbean. This is being fed actually by this broad area in the Western Gulf, which by the way is hammering Louisiana with over a foot of rain in some areas, and portions of the Texas coastline have had some heavier rain as well. But look how widespread the storms are across the Yucatan. Cancun, Cozumel, Merida, Chechemal, back down towards Tulum. Portions of Belize getting those showers and storms as well. They're going to be getting going in Honduras. Storms are trying to fire up, certainly on the western side of Cuba, and then trying to sneak into the Cayman Islands. Nice little storm right now over the Grand Cayman area. Still relatively dry, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, but you can see all the rich moisture in your area, and that chance is going to stay high. Same thing for our friends in Cuba. I mean, again, storms are very prolific there, and notice that this is all trying to actually push from north to south. It's been relatively quiet today in Jamaica. A few showers and storms are beginning to ramp up right now, mainly on the western sides of the island, okay? So, St. Elizabeth, Trelawney parishes off towards the west. Some of the notable areas that could get a little bit of rain include Cambridge, Santa Cruz, Black River, on over towards Falmouth, Montego Bay, Savlamar, Lucy, Negril, all with opportunities for a shower or storm. And again, if you live on the eastern portions of the island near Kingston and areas off towards the east, still could see a shower or storm, but that chance is not going to be as prominent as areas on the western side of the island. More showers and storms for portions of the Bahamas for today. You can see those beginning to ramp up right now. Let's throw on our radar data out of here. And again, even though the clouds look like they're moving off towards the east, the storms themselves are basically somewhat stationary or trying to slide off towards the west. So it's been very spotty for today overall. A little bit more concentration, Walker's Creek, Key, Grand Bahama, Freeport, Lucaya, High Rock, Abaco, Bimini, a couple of passing showers and storms there. Obviously, mariners need to be cautious. It does begin to dry out relatively quickly when you get towards Andros and New Providence and Eleuthera. Not as much in the way of activity there. And then overall for today on this Thursday, seeing it a little bit drier, central and the southeast sides of the Bahamas, few showers and storms isolated towards the Turks or the Caicos. One area that's had heftier storms today is going to be the Dominican Republic and Haiti. The storms began on the DR side and then moved across towards the Haitian side. And look at all the lightning. This is some good heavy downpours coming in right now. Could even see some isolated flash flooding. Of course, Hispaniola is a very mountainous island, and very quick rain can lead to some quick flash flooding in a couple of spots. So watch for that. So it started off Puerto Plata, near Santiago de los Caballeros, Santo Domingo, then moved off towards the west, now headed towards Port-au-Prince in areas on the western side of the island. It has been quieter for today and excruciatingly hot for my friends in Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. As a matter of fact, there's an excessive heat warning that's in play. Your feels like temperatures are way above this. These are the actual air temperatures, upper 80s to around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like temperatures, though, should take a second here to run on properly, I hope, because those aren't the right numbers. Let's see if I do this one more time. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't like to pick up. Again, do we want to believe this number in Ponce? 124-ish for feels like number. That is crazy if it's true, okay? If we look at it here, 82 degree, 97 with an 82 degree dew point, and it feels like temperature that could have been above 120. But this is why we have this excessive heat warning, even if that we want to say may be a little bit too hot. But 110, by the way, is 43 degrees Celsius. 115 is around 46, so 125. I mean, exceptionally hot. You live in this area, let me know in the comments section below an isolated shower or storm in this area. And again, that orange is the potential development area from our tropical wave, so I'm just going to remove that for now. Taking a look again, we've had very spotty rain, and at best very spotty rain through most of the Lesser Antilles in general, up in the Leeward Islands. A couple of showers trying to roll across Antigua, maybe a couple of showers near Montserrat, but generally speaking, Barbuda, St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Bart's, all dry. Better rain today in Dominica. You can see those showers passing by. Same thing for trying to get a few showers towards St. Lucia. Doesn't mean we're going to get a lot of rain in these areas, but a spotty shower is possible. And again, just a little bit better concentration of some moisture off towards our south. Let me bring back on the, having trouble with my mouse here. It's not cooperating today. Let me bring back on the enhanced satellite imagery. Now, this morning, portions of Trinidad and Tobago got hammered. Real heavy rainfall in a few areas, and then it got darn hot after that. A couple of scattered showers over Nueva Esparta, and we've been dry today across the ABC Islands. So again, we can see where the storms have been more prominent here for today. So let's get into the forecast, friends. As we do that, thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to Meteo Mundo. You want these daily forecasts across the Caribbean and, of course, your tropical updates as well. And again, thank you for finding ways to support me here as we go along. So now it's time to deep dive into our tropical wave. Again, we talked about the here and the now, and before we even get there, once again, there is a robust tropical wave that's moved off the West African coast that will need watching as well. But we're going to deal with the here and now more. And again, the models have really done a big flip as far as the potential strength and the potential movement, and they actually go hand in hand. So again, what you're looking at in this orange area is the potential formation zone from the National Hurricane Center of that wave over the next 7 days. It now does go as far south as Grenada and then all the way up towards Anguilla, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. But of course, it's obviously going to continue to push off either to the west or the northwest after that. But these would be the first areas that could be impacted by this system early next week. So we're going to deep dive into the models. Again, still more than 1,300 miles away from Barbados, more than 2,000 kilometers. We got plenty of time to watch. But when I show you the different models, if you've been watching the videos daily, you're going to see the big changes that have come about. First of all, this is the deterministic model of the European, right? So this is the main model run of the European. I want you to notice, first of all, that those areas in green and purple, that's the wave coming in. Now, on the deterministic model, it doesn't develop it until it gets into the Western Caribbean and as a weak system. But please note again that the track is much farther west and south than what we had been looking at the last several days, where it kind of curled across the Leeward Islands and moved north of Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Hispaniola. So this is a big change as far as that goes. Now, again, on the deterministic, it's not a very strong system, and we hope that that's the case, okay? But when I show you the ensemble members of the European, and again, there's many of those, and they're all plotting at the exact same time, and these are the same times we've been looking at all week long. Again, we're still quiet through the weekend, into Monday, potentially by Tuesday is when we start to see the first signs of this wave developing near the Lesser Antilles. Some of the European models have it developing before the Lesser Antilles, some have it after, and you'll start to see this is the same wave, but look at the spread, the divergence in solutions on the European model, both in track and in intensity. We're going to run this at least one more time for you guys. But again, we're going to be talking about the Lesser Antilles and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, potentially Turks and Caicos, Cuba, maybe even Jamaica that could be impacted by this system. There's still a lot of question marks, but the models have been farther west and some of them have been stronger as well, okay? But there is still a wide range of solutions on the ensemble, from turning it east of the Turks and the Caicos or driving it towards the Yucatan. So we really just need to pay very close attention to this in these areas that we cover here at Meteo Mundo to see how this plays out. But again, the signals are there that there's going to be some kind of development with this wave early next week. Okay, now this is the European model. What we're looking at here is the tropical storm probability, meaning that how strong could this wave get on the European model? So the potential for it to become a tropical storm, right, when you look at the colors and the legend at the bottom of your screen, gets to that 50th% chance here just south of Puerto Rico. Okay, so it'd be developing right here or trying to develop and then potentially becoming a tropical storm in these areas. So that's much higher than what we had yesterday as far as it becoming a tropical storm and getting a name, which would be Francine, right? There's actually even a very low probability in the European model right now that this would become a hurricane, okay? We'll see how it plays out. I mean, obviously this is high end, but I wanted to show you the different solutions on the models because there's been such a change compared to yesterday. Now, it's not a big chance, and the European model is more aggressive than the GFS, okay? The other interesting thing is that it tries to develop this right over Hispaniola, and typically that doesn't happen because remember, Hispaniola is a very mountainous island. Storms suck in a lot of dry air. Their low-level wind fields are disrupted by that island. So I kind of don't buy, if you will, that if the European model tries to make this a hurricane, it's going to try and do it near Hispaniola. That typically is not what happens, okay? But just to show you the different solutions there, all right? Let's look at the GFS model, the other global model. And again, as we get closer in time, we're gonna be looking at all the other tropical models as well. You know, I got you covered. So the GFS, first of all, is a little bit slower as far as the timing. The European model is just faster with the system. Your GFS does begin to develop it. Notice there's not as many ensemble members that actually develop this. I mentioned it earlier that the GFS was weaker compared to the European. Then the GFS has a quicker turn north, so rising in latitude faster. Not a lot of members bring it into the Western Caribbean, but it's still farther south and west than the solutions on the GFS model yesterday. So the GFS has had a change, and now the question is, you know, does it begin to agree even more with the European and make it stronger and keep it going farther west, or does it stay weaker and turn north? Here's the thing. Stronger system is going to be pulled farther west. A weaker system should turn north faster, okay, overall. But we can see, again, it's the same time frame as we get deeper into next week, all right? We can also go back to my computer here, and we're going to take a look at the GFS deterministic model, all right? So this is going to be the main GFS model, and I'm going to bring up the reflectivity here. I was looking at a couple of things right before I came on, so let me drop that off. Let me take out the 5-day formation zone. So this is going to be the deterministic from the GFS. I showed you the deterministic pressures from the European model, all right? And again, as we go out through the 7th, on the GFS deterministic, you're not going to see anything wrapped up too much here, okay? We're going to get some heavier showers and storms and some rain and some wind, but on the GFS deterministic, at least as of now, we don't really have a strong system. I can show you the wind fields, all right? So let's take a look at the wind fields, and this would be the surface winds GFS model. All right, it might take just a second to load up. So the first thing is, it's going to bring fresh winds, all right? We're going to have, and it's going to be hard to determine exactly what it's going to bring, but there's going to be a large field of stronger winds coming in early to mid next week for a lot of the Caribbean, okay? Maybe even up towards the Turks and the Caicos as well. On the GFS model, I want you guys to notice that some of the freshest winds, at least right now, right, pull through the Leeward Islands and then right over Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. But you notice that nothing ever wraps up as far as a center of circulation. It's because that's a lot of the land interaction for a developing system to try and develop at all, or especially get strong in a hurry. So we never really see on the deterministic, at least of this last model run, a big wrap up, but that's still a very broad, strong wind field, right? 25, 30 knots, probably even some higher gusts than that. If we take a look at the product, you know I love to show you guys when we're looking at things here, and that's going to be the vorticity, right? So we're looking for spin in the atmosphere with this, okay? So let's see what the deterministic model of the GFS does. This is actually a better product. It's just easier to kind of track along here what this system might be doing as far as spin goes, all right? It's going to take just a second for it to fully load up, and we know that. But again, it's kind of way out here, but as far as ever really fully wrapping, here it comes, right? Moves to the Lesser Antilles, kind of the second and third, and then races off towards the west, but never really tightens up significantly, all right? So, not a big deal on the GFS as of yet, but is that too weak, right? And then what happens with the system behind it as well? That's going to bear some interest as it moves into the Lesser Antilles, maybe at the end of next week, all right? So let's break down kind of what the thought process is right now, okay? Higher 40% chance of development in the next few days. Look, it's not 80 or 90 as of yet, but it's certainly higher than yesterday, and there's been a big change in the models, and the Hurricane Center has picked up on that, all right? They're not going to go from a 20% chance of development to an 80% chance in a 24-hour period. They're going to stair-step it up. So it's not going to shock me if, as we go through this evening, and then when I see you guys back tomorrow, that chance is higher. So again, if it does wrap up, it could strengthen quickly. All right, so these are the areas that just need to monitor. There's absolutely no reason to do any preparations at this point in time whatsoever. There's still way too many questions. It's still way too early in the game. But if you live in the Lesser Antilles, if you live in the U.S., British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti, just keep a very close eye on this. All right, you guys would be the first in line to feel impacts if it starts to head our way. And obviously, I'll keep an eye out for other areas that may need to be paying very close attention as well. All right, so again, tropical wave, Central Atlantic, about 1,350 miles from Barbados. Still several days to monitor the situation, but there's been a big change in the models as far as potential strength and even track. Farther west, deeper into the Caribbean, more of our area could be potentially impacted. Let's now get into the local forecast for the weekend ahead. And as we do so, I'm going to bring up our old friend, the NAM. And if you haven't done it yet, you want to do me a big favor, click that like button for me right now. I'd wholeheartedly appreciate it. So we're going to look at the island by island rainfall forecast over the next 3 days. Going to let the NAM model run up here, all right? Because again, we're not going to have direct impacts from this tropical wave through at least Monday of next week, okay? So for the weekend ahead, We're still going to have the easterlies coming in. We're still going to have some pretty good chances for scattered showers. Few rumbles of thunder from Anguilla all the way back down towards Trinidad and Tobago. Fast moving rain, moving through it quickly. Maybe 25, 50 millimeters here and there, but nothing more than that in most areas. Now, Trinidad had some heavier rain earlier this morning, so I don't want to discount the possibility, but as far as widespread, just inundated in rain, no, I don't expect that. Still some strong breeze as well. My friends in the ABC Islands, we could actually get a decent chance for rain here towards the weekend, okay? Doesn't show a lot here on the NAM model, but you can see that moisture's in play. So let's hope we get some of that as well. Scattered, not expecting it to be extremely prominent, but the chance is going to be there. Just rechanging some of the time frame there. Looked like we were dropping the last couple of frames. So again, ABC Islands, Nueva Esparta, opportunities. Going to try and bring a better chance for rain for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico to cool things down, but it's not enough to absolutely drop the kind of heat we've been seeing. And again, I really hope that Ponce number was out to lunch. Let's hope it was more like 105, 110, but that's the kind of heat we've been feeling across the island. Scattered showers will continue to drift across the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Scattered in nature, nothing too prominent. We're going to get a better chance for rain in the northwest Bahamas the next few days. So if you live in New Providence and Eleuthera, on over towards Andros, Walker's Key, Freeport, Lucaya, and Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, rain chances will get higher for us here. 60, maybe even a 70% chance. It'll be more scattered for the central Bahamas, and then even a little bit more isolated for the southeast Bahamas towards the Turks, the Caicos. Cuba's rain chances should stay exceptionally high. I'm expecting scattered showers over our friends in Jamaica. Nothing extremely prominent, but a few downpours to try and cool things off here and there. Same thing for our friends in the Cayman Islands. Nothing outrageously significant, but passing showers through the day. We should actually dry out a little bit in the Yucatan, portions of the northern sides of Central America, and then trying to keep in some decent rain chances a little bit off towards the south. I'm just going to pause this because it looks like that loop's not cooperating significantly, but you can see the better chance for rain for Nicaragua, Panama, and Costa Rica. And again, as of note, for our friends here in the northwest side of the Gulf of Mexico, especially Louisiana, the east side there of Texas, very heavy rainfall is likely. Not really seeing this turning into anything tropical, but rich tropical moisture is going to continue to feed into those areas, and flooding is going to be an issue. So again, your island by island rain chance. Northwest Bahamas, 60 tomorrow, 70 Saturday, still 50 on Sunday. Decent chance central and southeast Bahamas, but just more scattered in nature. It's not as widespread. Turks and Caicos, not a bad chance tomorrow, more isolated to scattered over the weekend. Cuba's rain chances, I think, just stay very high. Cayman Islands, 40% chance tomorrow, back down to an isolated chance Saturday, Sunday. Belize City, again, it's about the driest we've had in a while. I only have a 30% chance, but still, some passing showers and storms are possible for my friends in Belize. Cancun and Cozumel, again, the farther north that you go, the closer you are to that broad disturbance in the Gulf, and so your rain chances actually begin to creep back up. And it might even be too low for tomorrow, to be honest. Jamaica's rain chances bobble back and forth between 30 and 40, nothing extremely high. And again, fast-moving showers, DR, Haiti, Puerto Rico, U.S. and British Virgin Islands. 30 to 40% chance each day. Bermuda's rain chances are still quite low. We're actually going to get some better rain chances for tomorrow for Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, Saba, St. Eustatius, places like that, then more isolated to scattered over the weekend. Same thing for Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, 60% chance tomorrow, 40 to 50. Still relatively healthy chances. Again, they don't add up to much on a daily basis, but if you can catch a couple days of rain in a row, that's going to help things out for you. Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, 50% chance for tomorrow. St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Again, kind of back and forth, 40 to 50. Barbados has had some decent rain in some areas today. Still could see some tonight and tomorrow as your best chance. Then 40 Saturday, Sunday. Grenada's chances again, probably best tomorrow. Trinidad and Tobago stay at that 50. Suriname and Guyana a little bit higher than that. And Nueva Esparta and the ABC Islands again, scattered to isolated. So if you get some rain maybe one of the next 3 days, that's probably on par with what I'm expecting. But the rainfall totals could be relatively high still. This is the European model. Again, anywhere you see oranges or red over the next 7 days, that's 2 to 4 inches or 50 to 100 millimeters of rain. And there's a ton of that. Again, the European model develops the wave generally before, on the ensembles, before the Lesser Antilles. I mean, I know the deterministic is way out here, but you can see that swath of heavier rain it brings, all right? Now, a lot of that is just south of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, but certainly impacting the Lesser Antilles. There's the heavier rain in the northwest Bahamas, 2 to 4 inches there. And again, there's not as much red anymore in Central America. It's a little bit more orange, but there's still some pockets of heavier rain. And there's the ABC Islands again, still trying to quench their thirst. As far as the seas go, obviously mariners, you need to be paying very close attention to this wave. The weekend still looks fine, all right? We're gonna still have some fresh easterly breezes. We're gonna see some sea conditions, 4 to 6, maybe a little bit higher from time to time. Please check in locally if you have any plans for the weekend. Still gonna see some stronger winds in the Atlantic exposed side of the Bahamas as well, but otherwise I think we're looking pretty darn good. If you're doing some boating here, of course, United States area, this is Labor Day weekend, it's going to be big. But for the Caribbean, just those easterlies will stay with us here. All right, guys, that's the latest on what's going on. You know you can find us across all social media, and I appreciate that support as well. Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video, that's myMediaMundo@gmail.com. You have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. Again, while you're doing there, if you just want to give me a very small payback by liking this video, by subscribing to the channel, I really appreciate it. It helps us out, keeps us going. Friends, have a great rest of your Thursday. You'll have all the newest information on that wave in your forecast for you tomorrow, right here at Meteo Mundo.